Super Thursday! Woo! And we are doing Stillwater Artisanal Ales today. Which,
a little birdie tells me this is like your all-time favorite brewer.
it's way up there. I mean, if you've ever
Not
followed
brewery,
me,
brewer.
brewer. It's a cool dude. No,
I mean, you were humping his leg at the Stone Meet the Brewer Fest.
He's a good-looking guy. But no, yeah, I mean, everyone who knows me knows I love Saison, and Stillwater especially. They just do amazing beers all around. One of the reasons that we wanted to do this is that we just met Brian at dinner at Stone, along with Jeppe from
Evil Twin.
Evil Twin. So it was really awesome.
Brian is the brewer of
Stillwater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Stillwater is...
I would say he's the owner, but doesn't really own anything.
Well, he's the owner operator. He owns
the name and the
property,
yeah.
you know. But what he means is that Stillwater is like a so-called gypsy brewery where he will actually bounce from brewery to brewery brewing his beers, and
similar to Mikkeller.
Yeah, Mikkeller
and Evil Twin.
Yeah,
and Pretty Things.
Pretty Things. Yeah, exactly.
There's actually quite a few breweries that have gotten really well-known, good name recognition that follow that gypsy model, even though, you know, it's kind of looked down on in the craft beer industry a little bit. It's not something that should be scoffed at. It's not something that should be like, oh, I'm not going to drink your beer because you don't own your own brewery, and that makes you less.
Every time a brewer might go into that, like, they go to a different brewery every time. And so while many breweries are the same, they're different in the way they operate, their equipment. You know, it's a different process each and every time. So that, I think, says a lot too, where it's like, no, I can go into a brewery and I can make it work and I can make this beer.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of a shot in the dark. Will this turn out the way I want it, because they're technically not on their own system that's tried and true, basically.
Yeah. I think actually Stillwater produces a majority of their beers at a brewery in Maryland whose name Brian mentioned, and I totally forgot. So we'll put in the...
wait for it. Oh, just little bits. It's like, it's crying tears.
Tears of beer.
Tears of beer.
But yeah, we're doing Stillwater's Cellar Door today, which is, all of their stuff is more or less Saison based. It's all Farmhouse style. This one is actually wheat based and uses Sterling and Citra hops and a little bit of sage.
White sage.
White sage. Yes.
Not because he's racist, but because it's unique.
Sterling and Citra.
Sterling is an interesting combination. Wow.
Yeah. The head on this is pretty loose.
It's also
is that the right?
Thick and luscious.
Loose. Yeah, like like the bubbles are big and fluffy. Yeah.
Fluffy head.
It's a fluffy head.
Yeah,
it smells delicious, though.
Juniper kind of thing happening.
Yeah, there's almost like an herbal kind of quality to it.
I guess that's the sage-ish kind of
yeah,
thing.
like there's also like a spicy kind of.
A lot of the sage comes through. A lot of the pepper comes through.
Smells great. It smells awesome.
I don't get near as much Citra as I thought I would. Because Citra is such an overpowering aroma hop that I assumed it would kind of take over.
Right.
But,
well, it's nice to know that you can use like those big, high oil level hops like subtly, because you just take a sip of it.
I did.
Oh.
That's because I've been holding it for 5 minutes. We haven't cheersed.
5 minutes. It's been 2.
Whatever. Cheers.
We have a timer over there. Cheers.
Don't tell them about our timer. That's backstage stuff.
I'll show you
behind
guys
the scenes.
I'll show you our timer sometime. Although if you have an iPhone, you can just click the clock
quite
app.
sophisticated.
Yeah, it's right there. That's our timer.
It's got like numbers and a red button and a gray button. It looks like an iPhone.
If you push the gray button, it doesn't stop. It's just like, yeah.
Lap.
Lap.
All right, so let's drink it.
Yeah.
Now I'm afraid to drink because I'm going to get yelled at again.
What are you doing? No.
I'm drinking delicious beer, apparently.
That's lovely.
I really like this.
You get a lot of the spices coming through. Really, really good.
I'll be honest. I'm going to say something that's controversial that'll probably get me hate mail and hate tweets and whatever else. I'm a little over Saisons.
You and I are not friends anymore.
Well,
why are you over Saisons? Because it's summertime and
because
we've had a lot of Saisons.
And we've had a lot of Saisons. It's not that I'm not trying to be a hater, and I'm not trying to be one of those guys who's like, oh, everybody likes this, and now all of a sudden I hate it because I'm too cool for everyone else. It's not about. It's like. Literally, like, I think in the course of a week, I've had like 8 different Saisons, you know, and I'm like, okay.
Will you stop for a second? You're complaining about this?
No, it's not that I'm complaining.
Hold on a second.
I'm not complaining.
You understand that we have this, like, so much variety to choose from that. I've had 8 different saisons this week, and
No, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing.
Come on.
Nice.
B-roll right there.
Nice. No, I'm saying what I'm saying is that because I'm a hophead, I prefer to drink IPAs, pale ales, that kind of stuff. So when I drink a lot of
that's
saison,
your summertime beer.
right? That's my summertime beer. So it's
Okay.
the saison. It's like, and a lot of them tend to blend together, and they all kind of start kind of tasting this. It's like, oh, there's the funkiness, there's the pepper,
Well,
there's
you
this.
know, it's
But this one,
saison.
and finishing my statement all the way through, and this better make it on the
Sorry,
show.
I interrupted.
This one stands apart. Like, I really, really like this beer. I think the sage, I don't know like the difference between sage and white sage, but you know, it pops a little bit more. I think it's got a little bit more refreshing quality to it. The funkiness is there, but it's not like, hey, I'm funky and in your face. You know, it's like it's really well balanced and just really refreshing
I
beer.
agree.
Actually-
Especially since it's so light-bodied. It basically, you drink it, you get the flavor off of it.
So dry.
It
Right.
finishes dry and it's gone.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that. And you get a little bit of lingering herbal qualities from the spices in the beer.
Actually,
Yeah.
one thing that Brian mentioned that I was
pour myself
really,
some
really
more.
excited about was
I'm gonna pour some more of this.
I believe you said for the majority of their beers they use the yeast from Blaugé. I'm not sure if they're technically in Belgium or France. But they're in
Blaugé?
Wallonia. Yeah, they're this amazing saison brewery in Wallonia.
Is that kind of like being blasé and bougie at the same time?
No,
You
not at
can
all.
become blasé.
Yeah, not at all. Doesn't mean that at all. But Blaugé is actually one of my favorite saison breweries, and they
Is
make
that
amazing beers all
maybe a
around.
slightly less funky saison?
Yeah, I like their beers tend to be more on like the spicy end, because I always see like general saisons as being either like spicy or fruity. You look at a lot of domestic examples; they tend to fall more on the fruity end, as opposed to you look at the big names in Belgium, your Saison du Pont, your Blaugé, your other ones that I can't think of at the moment.
Other
Yeah.
ones. That's an obscure Belgian brewery.
Exactly. Papaye. Those all tend to be a little bit more on the spicy side.
A little more on the dry side.
Yeah, and that's another thing is that this seems to be a lot more like Eurocentric as opposed to like more domestic.
Which is what I like about it.
Yeah, exactly. This is wonderful.
Well, and we don't have any food to go with it today because I was lazy and didn't buy any. So you can blame me for that.
Yeah,
but,
guess who talked shit about that on the last episode?
Well, yeah, last time it wasn't my responsibility.
I don't have to buy food. I
bam.
just got to film it.
So anyway, we're going to send you off to some place that does have food and quite
Awesome.
delicious food.
Yes.
And you might see me there,
Or me.
but not Matt
Not me.
He wasn't
because he
there.
didn't show up.
Working stiff.
So enjoy Master Pairings.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Master Pairings with me, Bill Sysak, known as Dr. Bill in the craft beer community for the last 30 years. Today I have with me Stephen Johnson.
Woo!
And wrong show, but that's okay, we're part of it. So it's
Wrong
all right.
show.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Wrong segment, I should say.
Thank you.
Anyways, and today it's all about what, Stephen?
Spam, 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 spam.
And a great beer. So today we're going to do Samuel Smith's Old Brewery Pale Ale. It's a classic British pale ale, 5% alcohol, and it's going to be amazing, and it's going to go great with Spam.
I like Sam Smith's. I like pale ales.
Okay.
I do not know how I feel about this spam thing, though. So I feel like I'm eating cooked bologna.
And Sam Smith's is a different kind of pale ale than you're used to also, you must remember. So
Really?
we'll see how you feel about this.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not what you're used to in a pale ale, sir. It's a British pale ale.
Smells buttery.
And nope, no butter in it, sorry. Yes, what Stephen's referring to is classic British pale ales and ESBs have a very small percentage of diacetyl in it, which is an off flavor that you could best equate for the average person to the smell when you first open a bag of microwave buttered popcorn. Okay, so cheers.
Cheers.
Classic. Samuel Smith's was one of the what we consider craft, well, they're not really a craft brewery, but regional English-style ales that was imported over here by Marchant to Vind, probably 25 years ago, Charlie and Roseanne Finkel. They have this thing called the Yorkshire Square system, which is a really neat thing if you go to the brewery where the beer travels from square to square.
Right.
These big, I believe they're slate squares, and open to the top so you can see it. If you want to know what I'm talking about, I think they've started to put it on the back of the labels because I see it on this particular label here. So I think you'll start seeing it on all the labels for the different Samuel Smiths. But what do you think of the pairing?
It's good. Not being a huge fan of Spam, this is actually pretty good. The beer really kind of brings the Spam to life a little bit more.
See, and you know, I know a lot of the hardcore beer fans now and stuff, they're all into, you know, big IPAs and imperial stouts and sour beers. This brings back memories to me because going in England, staying in England, traveling around, being there, you know, Michael Jackson in the morning, having breakfast, having an English ale, things like that.
Right.
Being at Samuel Smith's, it brings that back. Discovering Samuel Smith's in the early 80s when I was just starting out, you know, those were all beers that bring back great memories. So this beer is classic English pale ale, goes beautifully, could go beautifully with the burger, but I like classic English food with it. I like things like bangers and mash,
Right.
stuff like that.
I was going to say, is this really considered classic English food?
No, not at all. But eggs and Spam. Spam is something that you can find in England, as in everywhere else. And if you're thinking like eggs and beans and, you know, slice of tomato and maybe some bacon or ham, you know, it's getting it. It is a pork product. So,
Right.
You are picking up those characteristics.
Well, this is certainly not something I ever imagined we'd be doing on Master Pairings, but you always challenge the palate, so it's really good.
Well, I always want to talk to all walks of life and bring new things to people, so it doesn't all have to be
It's ghetto fancy pairings.
lobster and caviar. But, yep. Anyways,
Cheers.
thanks for coming to another Master Pairings.
So how was the Spam?
Spam, 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 spam. I don't like spam!
Yeah,
You actually do that voice really well.
Thank you.
I don't like spam!
Frighteningly well.
Yeah.
I
A
thought
little turned
what
on
better
right
pairing to put with this awesome Saison than Spam.
Yeah. I will say, you probably
It's called
noticed.
juxtaposition.
I do want to say something about that because I don't know how John's edited it, so I don't know what you're gonna see, but I remember what was there, and you'll probably see some really weird, quirky expressions on my face while I'm eating my first couple of bites of Spam.
Was it something like this?
Yeah, similar to that. Like,
Have you never had
actually,
Spam?
you know, no,
Never had?
I have had Spam in various forms because
Like with hash?
I lived in Minnesota. And if you know anything about Spam, you know that Austin, Minnesota is the Spam capital of the world, and they have huge festivals and all this stuff. And so, yeah, Spam was a plentiful in Minnesota. But I just could never get past the fact that I'm eating meat out of a can. Like, with the gelatinous ooze that's on it. And I will say, Bill makes Spam edible.
Oh, it was freaking awesome. I had a whole piece to myself.
Bill can make poo edible. I mean, he's you know, he has
good
that.
cook.
When have you been to Bill's for poo? No, anyway.
Yeah, okay, maybe not poo, but
No, but so
He's
I
awesome.
want to make sure that everyone knows that while the pairing, the flavors played off each other very well, but it didn't quite like the Spam. Sorry. I apologize right now.
so you're saying that like it's Minnesota and Hawaii. Those are the only places that you go where it's like Spam.
Yeah, Hawaii for some reason has a huge like thing for Spam. Like
Spam
they
and rice.
love, yeah, they love the Spam over there.
Where the heck else? are we gonna
Spam
get,
love.
You know, yeah.
So I will say that a can of Spam is better than Spam in my email box.
All
So,
right. Moving away from the Spam.
Moving away from Spam.
I was thinking during the break, this reminds me of Saison de Buff. At least Stone's version. Like
Oh,
the
see now I
version-
was gonna say Dogfish's.
Really?
Because Dogfish, I thought, had the more of the sage presence, whereas
I've never had the Dogfish. Are you speaking of the Victory, maybe?
No, it's the Dogfish version.
It's
And
funny 'cause
you had
I've-
it because
I've
we
only had
blended
the
it on
Victory.
your driveway.
No, that was Victory and Stone.
Was it Victory and Stone?
I've never
Maybe
had
I'm
the
thinking of the Victory
Dogfish.
one then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think you're right though, because there's a huge sage note in
and
that
Saison
one,
de
yeah.
Buff was all about flavor.
Right.
So I mean, it's strikingly similar to that. Maybe not to the extreme that Saison de Boeuf was, but
You know, I think sage is
love
one of those.
Saison de
Yeah,
Boeuf.
sage is one of those spices that if you put it in there, then you know you're gonna notice it. It just depends on how you play it with everything else. It's kind of like cardamom. You know, I've had a couple of beers with cardamom, and you can spot it right away.
it could be a cardamom bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
Cardamom bomb.
Yeah,
Say it.
cardamom bomb.
Not gonna do
Cardamom
it.
bomb.
Cardamom bomb.
I do
Cardamom,
think
bum,
cardamom
bum,
is
bum,
an
bum,
interesting
bum,
word
bum,
though,
bum.
because it's like, who's, you know, like who's your cardamom? Like, what's up?
Word to your cardamom.
Word to your cardamom.
Totally did your cardamom.
That's a cardamom I'd like to.
That's a kilf.
That's a kill.
Or silf.
Sylph. It's a smilf.
Oh, wow.
That sounds like
dear
something like
Lord.
you're like, oh, I just smelled that right now. Ugh, that's rancid.
Oh no, that was last night on the way home from that dinner.
Oh yes, it was.
Anyway.
Anywho,
Stillwater.
Stillwater. Excellent. If you can find a bottle of this, I think it's pretty readily available on the East Coast. We get small quantities of it out here. So I
A
mean,
lot of it, at least Southern California, you get through brewery provisions, the brewery's bottle shop.
Yeah, they have a little bit at High Time Wine Cellars too.
Yeah, High Time gets a lot of the good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, every once in a while, like, you know, a few cases of something will turn up. Like I found a bottle of their Existent, which is their dark Saison, which was just wonderful. One of my favorite beers that they make.
Yeah, so I think they do a great job. It's definitely something worth checking out. Definitely get it soon because, you know, hopefully summer's wrapping up. I can't deal with this 100 degree stuff.
Screw the heat. I'm ready for some winter warmers.
I want some, yeah, exactly. No.
Yeah, I'd rather just get a porter.
Seriously. Seriously.
I almost said something that would totally have been edited off the show.
Okay. So,
Yes.
Stillwater.
Yeah, Stillwater, delicious, absolutely great
Yes.
beers.
Yeah.
Brian, love you, super cool guy, awesome beers.
Keep making beer because we will keep drinking it.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. And as always, follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook.
We're not on Google Plus yet because Google.
Google Plus fails
Get with
at
the
life.
times, Google.
Yeah.
Come on.
But until we're on Google Plus, stay safe and drink beer.
Cheers.